Why tipping is out of control in the US.
Imagine you finished the best meal of your life. The restaurant has white linen tablecloths, and a candle flickers in the center of the table. Wine is flowing, and thanks to the competent and charming waiter, you've had an amazing culinary experience. At the end of the meal, you're feeling satisfied, and when the bill comes, you leave a generous tip without a second thought. When we think about tipping, this is the kind of classic scenario that comes to mind.
Facts.
Something you do after an exceptional experience. Or you may have a personal relationship with your barber or mechanic that obliges you to slip them some extra cash.
Facts.
But nowadays, tipping is increasingly becoming standard in many customer-facing industries.
Nah, it's not becoming standard. It's becoming predatory, bro. Like, they're doing too much now, bro. I'm gonna let you talk, bro, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna get to it, but I got something to say too.
And not only that, but the nature and etiquette around tipping has changed. Why is it that tipping now feels out of the customer's control? Whether in coffee shops, delis, boutiques, or at the dog groomers, it now seems rude to not tip after every service. It doesn't matter.
Hey, I don't care how rude it feel, bro. If I don't feel like tipping, I'm not tipping. Like, that just is what it is, bro. It's still an option at the end of the day, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Cause look, bro. Whenever I'm ordering food or whatever, say it's at a food truck, bro. Cause I order from food trucks a lot. Food truck food is really underrated if you don't know. But say I'm like ordering my food and everything, and then she's like tapping all the stuff in the iPad, you know, typing the order or whatever. And then she's like, oh, it's gonna ask you a question. Now she flips it over. And then I'm like, tip? Tip for what? I'd be asking that question in my head, and I'd be wanting to ask them, like, what am I tipping you for? Like, no, like, dead shit. Like, what am I tipping you for, bro? What did you do to me? What did you do for me? You said, oh, I would recommend you get the Hawaiian burger because the pineapple on there is really good. Like, is that tip worthy to you? Do you think that deserves 15%? Are you crazy? Like, no. Like, honestly, answer this. Do not answer this as the person who's, like, making the order, as, like, the owner of the establishment. Don't answer that question like that. Answer the question as a human being. Do you really think that you deserve 15% after flipping an iPad and saying it's going to ask you a question? If you get the fuck... Man, I be getting mad when that happens, bro. No, I'm not finished. I've never done that, and I never will, bro. Now, if there is actually something that happened that's tip worthy, like, if I'm at a restaurant... And then, like, they're constantly coming over, filling up my water or whatever, like, making sure I'm good. Like, oh, you want dessert? Like, constantly making sure that we're taken care of. Yes, that's a tip. If I'm getting my hair cut by the barber and we're, like, having a great conversation the entire time, and, like, the whole 30-minute haircut feels like 5 minutes because we've just been chatting back and forth. Yes, that's a tip. If you're flipping an iPad, that's not a tip, bro. You can't ask for a tip after that, bro. If I'm asking for a DoorDash, I tip. Right? Because you didn't have to deliver the food. I mean, it is your job, but that's fine, right? I'll tip you. But I'll tip you more, say it's like raining or like it's 3 in the morning or something like that. I'll tip you more because it's like, I know how that feels, gang. Like, I wouldn't want to do this. I get it, right? I just don't want to go drive here. I'll pay this. You know what I'm saying? That's that. Basically, I give you some gas money pretty much, right? Pay you for your inconvenience. But if you're not doing anything other than the, like, ordinary that you should be doing anyways, I'm not tipping that, bro. Like, if you're a waiter or something and you're coming over to my table and we're doing regular, we're just eating, like, we're just eating and everything, and you barely come over to our table, and you come over, like, maybe once to bring us the food, and then, like, one time, 10 minutes later to give us the check, I'm not tipping that. Most I'll give you is, like, an extra $1 or something, bro. Like, if the meal was $19, I'll just round it up, bro. I'll round it up. I'll give you some change, bro. I'll just be like, here, keep the change. I'll give you 20 and keep the change, bro. Like, I'm not doing that, bro. That's just me personally, though. I know some people who tip regardless. I know people, like some of my friends that tip very generously. They'll be like, here take a $20 tip. I'm like, fuck. Nigga, the meal was $40. What the? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, they tip very generously. That's just not my body, gang. That's just not me, bro. Call it whatever you want to call it, bro. I just call it me being a reasonable human, bro. I don't tip unless it's something that's tip worthy, bro.
The industry, a tip is now expected.
I just had to get that off, bro. I just had to get that off. You can go ahead and.
The nature of tipping has changed.
It
Long
has.
gone are the days of spare change clinking into a tip jar.
Facts.
Now customers must wrestle with the.
Bro, every time I have spare change, bro, I don't like change jingling around in my wallet, my nigga. Like, my wallet does not. It's not made for change, bro. So I have to, so I just take the change that they give me. If I pay with cash, rarely, right? But if I pay with cash and they give me change, I'll dump the change in there. If it's like $1 or something, I'll throw an extra $1 in there too. I'll put $1 in a little tip jar. Like, I'll do that because I see it right there, and they aren't asking me. Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. Kurt, whenever they ask you, oh my god, do you want to round up? You want to round up that 80 cents? Because you paid $10.20. Do you want to round up to $11 to pay for the children's hospital or whatever? That money is not going to the children's hospital. That money's not going to the children's hospital. Stop falling for that, bro. I'm going to feel like a bad person if I don't. You'll feel bad for maybe like 30 seconds, bro. And then after that, you're going to have your food. So you're going to be stuffing your face and you're not even think about it anymore. Like, I'm telling you, bro. It's not that deep, bro. It's not, bro. It's not, bro. It's all in your head, bro. I'm telling you. Tipping is all in your head, bro.
Is worth right in front of the person who just performed it. Awkward.
Facts.
Especially
That's
if
awkward.
you didn't have an experience worthy of anything extra.
Fat.
How did we get here? And what is the psychology behind it all?
That's what I'm saying, bro.
Tipping and the low wages it permits is more than just a topic for a video essay.
Facts.
It's a real problem that causes stagnant pay in an economy with rising costs.
That's the real
It's
problem.
gotten so bad that most Americans believe they need over $1.4 million to retire, a number that's increased by a whopping 50.
Oh, that's kind of crazy. 1.4 million just to retire is crazy, bro. I'd retire with 10K. But anyways, bro, the fact is, it's the system, bro. Like, waiters and waitresses get paid less money because they're expected to get money from tips, and that's how they make their money. That's not my fault. It's not my fault that you chose this job. Like, they didn't put a gun to your head and say, hey, you're going to be a waiter today. You know what I'm saying? Like, they need to have better wages, so it's not your fault. But it's also not mine either. So, like, you know what I'm saying? Blame the system, bro. Blame the system. That's something they should be teaching you sociology, bro. But that's a whole different subject, bro. Don't even get me started in my sociology bag, bro.
50% in the past 4 years alone. Even worse, the usual stock and bond portfolio that so many people rely on is expected to underperform for the next decade.
Bro, this got me acting like
Goldman Sachs. In the face of this economic crisis, the best thing to do to protect your future is to diversify your investments like the tens of thousands of people who are active investors in contemporary art through the sponsor of today's video, Masterworks.
Bro, come on, bro. Come on, bro.
Present indicators that is a way for the customer/CD. Back to our story. Tipping didn't originate as a way for the customer to take on the employer's payment obligations.
Facts.
The server was paid by the employer, and it was understood that a tip was simply a token of appreciation for the person directly involved in the service.
That's how it should be!
A discreet way to show your gratitude and a recognition of their hard work.
Thanks!
Because at the end of the day, society relies on everyone's collective kindness and labor. Things only get done if people show up for work.
Facts.
Sometimes to do things they really don't want to do.
Facts.
Of course, it would be nice if everyone could get paid a decent living wage doing exciting work, but it's a cruel fact of life that work isn't always pleasant.
True.
The pay is often low.
True.
Yet, there's a massive stigma around client-facing work. It's often viewed as lowly, easy, and something that is less than. Most customers are aware of this and use the tip to ease the service worker's mental burden. It might make the customer feel better about themselves if they pay a little extra to someone doing a job they feel is beneath them. If you want your coffee without any hassle, keeping your server happy might be a good idea. Maybe this system initially...
And I'll also tip if I'm in a situation where I'm ordering, like, say I'm ordering some food that has mad, like, changes to it. Like, oh, I want to order this steak, but instead of the mushrooms, can I get, like, onions? And can the onions be extra crispy? And, like, I got all these augments that I have to the meal. Like, oh, can I make the fries cheesy fries with, like, ranch on the side instead of ketchup? Like, if I'm doing all that shit, bro, and they got to write down all this plus minus tomato plus ketchup, like, if they got to do all that, that's a tip. That's a tip, gang. Because you didn't have to do that. You didn't have to write all that down. You could have said, hey, so you getting this shit the way it fucking comes. You ain't changing shit, nigga. Like, they could tell me that, and I'd be like, oh, all right, bet. My fault. You know, they could tell me that, but they not. You know what I'm saying?
It provided a sense of camaraderie between client and patron, keeping everyone in the coffee house in good spirits. There is a rewarding social aspect to going out, having a good time with friends, and including the waiter in that experience. Think about a waiter telling a good joke or offering recommendations that become new favorites.
Facts!
Some of these experiences will...
Bro, if I go to a restaurant, 9 times out of 10 I'll do it if I'm by myself. If I'm going to a restaurant by myself, or if I'm going to a restaurant that's new that I've never been to with friends. Those two very specific scenarios. I'll ask the waiter or waitress. 9 times out of 10 it'll be a waitress. because waiter, I wouldn't really care what he has to say. I'll be like, what do you recommend? You know what I'm saying? And then she'll start talking, and then I'll be like, oh, okay, I'll get this. And then, you know what I'm saying, we start talking about it and everything. I'm like, oh, well, you like this? Like, we can have that conversation, bro, because then that's a tip. You just did something extra. You didn't have to stand here and talk to me for 5 minutes about the menu options. You didn't have to do that, bro. That's a tip. It's not a tip if you just say, oh, yeah, here's the menu. Here's your food. Here's the check. That is not a tip. I swear on my life, I would never tip you if you do that, bro.
Will make lifelong memories. Americans traveling overseas brought tipping culture back home with them. But as with any good thing, shady businessmen were ready to take advantage of the situation. Soon, all goodwill was gone, and instead it became a standard of the American economy.
Facts!
Entrepreneurs started to use this new system to their advantage and would now avoid paying their employees a full wage. Porters, cloakroom attendants, and
which should be illegal! Like, why is that not illegal? Why?
Cab drivers had to rely on the kindness of their patrons to earn a living wage.
Like, bro, why? Why is that not
Introducing a livable
illegal?
minimum wage did away with tipping culture. When customers and staff understand that they're receiving fair pay, there is no obligation to tack on a little extra.
Like, bro, can somebody please just open a restaurant that gives fair pay to the waiters, bro? Where are those restaurants at, bro? I will eat at those restaurants, bro. Please. Please, bro. So they're not begging for a tip and they look like sad and shit when I don't leave one, bro. Like, Jesus Christ,
The total
bro.
opposite became the norm in America. Gratuity became the solution for businesses looking to save a little cash. This takes away from the sometimes kind and nice exchange between customer and patron. In 1966, Congress lowered the mandatory base wage of tipped employees. Today, on average, service workers are only getting paid $2.13 an hour.
What?
The expectation is that tips will make up the remainder of their wage. That's not
Okay, I didn't know it was that low. I genuinely didn't know it was that low.
a fair burden to place on the backs of customers, especially ones who can't afford to tip what a service is worth. The truth is that the service worker's job is to cater to your needs. Whether it's at the nail salon or while they clean your house, you're employing someone to work for you. Often it's intimate work, things you wouldn't otherwise do for yourself. For some, there's a sense of shame in this. You feel that you're using somebody else's labor for your well-being. As
True.
clientele, how much responsibility do we bear for the bottom line of the businesses we frequent? Guilt plays a huge role in how quickly you reach for your pocketbook. I think a lot of people feel ashamed when they're waited upon. There's this notion that the person serving you is somehow below you, and that doesn't make you feel good. You might feel like you need to compensate them to make yourself feel better.
Nah, they just doing
To
their
help you
job,
feel
bro.
better about this power imbalance, maybe you slip them an extra $5 or bump their tip to 20% when the iPad swivels around. This makes you feel good about yourself. You can reassure yourself that
The day I pay a tip on our iPad, bro, please, bro, just go ahead and take me off of this earth, bro. Please.
you're a good person,
Please,
not
bro.
someone who just allows hard work to go unnoticed. It puts you
You
back
swing that iPad around, I'm swinging it right back. What you doing, bro? What you doing, gang? Especially if I already paid and then they trying to, nah, bro. I'm not doing
on the
that.
level of the person who has just done something for you, a true token of your appreciation. Yet it's becoming the norm that many industries that don't offer
That's just
direct
me, though.
service,
That's just,
cafeterias
hey, that's just me, though, Chad. Don't be like me, be better than me.
or bakeries, are now asking their customers to leave a little something. Gone are the days of the jar by the till collecting loose change. The touchscreen that accompanies payment options formalizes the tip. A tip doesn't feel like a choice anymore. The ever-rising percentages are glaring at you. What are you supposed to do? Choose no tip right in front of the barista handing you your coffee?
Bro, I do that, bro. And I feel like kind of bad for like the first 15 seconds, and then after that, GG's, bro. I'm good, bro. I don't even think about it no more.
It just seems cruel. So you end up paying $1 or $2 more than you ever planned. Even from the point of view of the staff, tipping can be awkward or condescending. Yes, this unequal power dynamic exists between staff and client, but formalizing it with an extra exchange of money only draws attention to the inequality. As a worker, you're already trying hard enough and don't want to be pitied. You have enough on your mind as you're bussing tables or cutting hair, and now imagine on top of that working your whole shift in a state of anxiety, worried about whether you've done a good enough job to deserve a tip. The
I
amount
mean,
of
yeah, that
tips
is kind of crazy, though. That is, like, psychologically, like, that is... I think we probably do need to, like, run tests and stuff on that.
Also
That
hinge on
is, like, a
factors
serious
entirely
issue.
out of your control. Race, gender, and overall appearance play a huge role in whether somebody gets a payday.
I can't tell if that water is filled up or not, is it? Because I'm seeing, like, because you can see this, right? Like, it's, like, darker right here, and it goes down. Like, the water's not moving in there. Does all water move whenever the moon comes out, like, in the waves and stuff, or is that only the water in the ocean?
So some service workers think it might be a good idea to do away with tips altogether. What if the tip...
I wouldn't get rid of it altogether. Because, I mean, at the same time, you could, like, tips are fine, right? But I guess it's kind of like, for what I do, right? Like, that's like streaming and then, like, you're begging for donations because it's like, this is how I eat. Like, but in reality, the website could just pay more. Like, you know how much money YouTube makes, bro? YouTube, Twitch, like, I mean, Twitch is different, but, like, how much money ads are. Like, bro, you could definitely get paid more. But it just depends. You know what I mean? And people make a lot of money off of ads, especially if you get, like, a really good split. Dude, you can make a lot of money off ads, bro.
Tip was already included.
So you don't need donations. You don't need subs, stuff like that. That's what I'm saying.
But it could mean we can avoid this awkward dance at the end of every service interaction. Some people advocate for this for equity's sake. Others think it should be up to the patron whether or not they would like to add a little extra.
Yes, it should be.
The problem with tipping culture is that there is no solution. I think it's too embedded in our way of life to disappear completely.
No. Yeah. It's not going to go away completely. I just think that the waiters and waitresses should just get paid more so that way they aren't like, how do I put this? Because if they're trying really hard and they don't get a tip, then, like, maybe the next people that they next table that they wait or whatever, they're not gonna try as hard because they're like, dang, bro, like, I just tried this hard and I didn't even get no tip from them. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I think getting that part out of their head, like, oh, I need tips, I need to make this much money from tips, get that out of their head. That way they can just focus on doing their job. And then they would probably do their job a little better, right? Because then they're making a lot more money. And then they would get the tips on top of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that's a better solution. But we might be too far gone from that. I'm not even going to lie.
Yet, as it stands, it is also out of control. People always feel weird about how they spend their money. Whether or not you think your waiter deserves an extra tip is deeply personal. And for some customers, telling them not to tip is an insult. Some people enjoy splashing a little extra to take care of the workers who take care of them. Tipping has the ability to make both the customer and the employee feel good. Especially in America, it never works to try and tell people what to do with their dollar. Of course, the pandemic had a significant effect on tipping culture. Some businesses wouldn't have survived without the extreme generosity of their patrons, tipping them for little to no service at all. Otherwise, people wouldn't have been paid, and some of your favorite establishments would have closed their doors.
It's fair.
Customers have become so used to this practice that it has continued on post-pandemic, and now it's become slightly ridiculous. Because it begs the question, what services deserve to be tipped, and who is accountable for making sure workers receive an adequate wage?
Oh yeah, and like mechanics, car washes, stuff like that too. Like the car washes if they're doing it by hand, not the machine ones.
First, I think we should differentiate between large business and small business tipping. I think giant corporations should be responsible for ensuring their employees get paid.
Yes.
It seems a little suspicious for chain coffee shops and restaurants with large profit margins to be demanding the customer fork over a little bit extra cash.
That's a fact.
Small.
Dude, if I'm at Starbucks and they flip a tablet and they're like, oh, well, can you pay? It's going to ask you a question. What? Oh, chop that barista in the throat. Stop
Businesses might have more of a right to ask for a tip. They're in a position where every cent matters to their bottom line. Having a devoted customer base that tips might help keep the lights on. Tips might help them through when times are tough, and the community would be better for it. There are also huge issues about what employers do with the money you tip. It's not always the case that your tip goes directly to the person you want it to. Some employers pull tips and divide them equally between the staff. Even those working in the back in a non-customer serving role can take home a fair chunk of change. Is this fair?
No, it's not fair. Wait, what? No.
I would think those who directly work with the customers might get a bit frustrated.
Yeah. Do the like dishwashers and cooks and stuff, do they get paid like normal? Because the only people who get paid less are the waiters and stuff, right? I don't know.
After all, they did make a direct relationship with the customer.
Exactly, yeah. Dude, they earn the money. That's their money, bro.
What is having that tip taken in...
It's already bad enough that they're making less money. They're giving their extra money the way to other people. Dude, nah, dude. Bro, waiter and waitress got to be the worst job, bro. There's no way.
Mean. Then again, you could argue that everyone in the establishment, regardless of their role with customers, is responsible for the overall experience. Think about
I
coffee
guess,
shop.
but come
Yes,
on,
the
bro.
barista prepares and serves your coffee, but what about the roaster or the cleaning staff that make the cafe a
Stop,
pleasant
bro.
place to
Stop, bro. Stop. There's no way that y'all aren't paying the cleaning and the roast. There's no way that they're not getting paid full minimum wage, bro. There's just no way. If they're also getting paid less, hoping that the waiter or waitress, or I guess the barista at the front, is the person who's going to make enough money for all of them at the establishment, that is literally insane.
spend time. Everybody is involved in making
And
sure you
should
have a
be
good
criminal.
experience.
I don't know why
I
this
think
isn't
it's up
illegal.
to businesses to decide their standards, and it's up to us as consumers to make a well-informed decision every time we step up to the till. I think the general rule of thumb should be to follow the guidelines set out by the business. If gratuity is covered in the overall price, let it be that way. But if you know that your service
Oh yeah, sometimes they do automatically put it in there. They do. So that's whenever you can't avoid it. You can't avoid it. Like I think it's like, or at least some of the restaurants I've been to, it's like if you have 4 or more people or something, it's just automatically like the tip is automatically in there, like the gratuity fee or whatever. And I'm just like, oh yeah, at that point, I'm really not tipping. I'm really not tipping at that point.
worker relies on tips,
Unless it was
don't
like stellar service. Like I'm talking 4.5 out of 5 or higher.
hold them. I also think it should be up to you to use your discretion. If you're asked to tip at
should
a
be.
place where you didn't make an honest connection to the service staff and don't want to tip, then don't tip. I don't think you
like
should
her
feel
smile.
too guilty when you don't tip in those scenarios. Just remember that the pit in your stomach might exactly be what they want you to feel.
I ain't got no
Some
pit in my
businesses
stomach,
and
bro. That
industries
pit left a
rely on
long
the
time
guilty
ago.
conscience of their customer base. It's important to not fall into that trap. Then your tip comes from a place of insecurity. It's not a genuine reflection of how you felt about the service. While money is money, emotional exchange is also an aspect to consider when tipping. The person on the other side of the counter is just trying their best. Treating them with respect and dignity is essential. You don't want to use your money as a tool to make you feel better about yourself. In the sense of tipping, use your money honestly. Also, when it comes to tipping, people might spend too much time considering how their actions affect others. When the iPad swivels around and you don't feel like the service provided warrants a tip, just let it be. Really, in the grand scheme of things, although the service worker might be upset for a minute, they will most likely
I wish somebody would get upset that I tapped no on the no tip whenever they flip the iPad for doing nothing. I wish somebody would get mad.
forget this interaction. Don't let the awkward moment cloud your better judgment. Your wallet will thank you for it.
Nah, bro. Nah, this is a good video though, gang. I ain't gonna lie. I learned a couple things from this. This is a good video, bro. I like your channel, Aperture. I like this, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I like this, bro. The US for 7 years, tipping culture still baffles me, bro. I still get surprised from it, and I'm like, how is nobody, like, what, bro? If an employer can't afford to pay their employees a livable wage, they don't do their same business. That is a fact, bro. I'm not the only one who never felt compelled to tip. I don't know if I'm trying not to cashier just because he took my order. It's weird that other people feel awkward about this. Actually, that's what I'm saying, bro. I don't feel weird about it at all, bro. Maybe for like half a second, I'm like, like if they're looking at me and they can tell, like, all right, he's tapping no, then it's like, that feels kind of awkward. I'm still doing it anyways, but it's like I'll be trying to sneak it, right? Like if they know the no is in the bottom right corner, I'll look at the top corner and I'll be like, oh, I'm about to tap this, and I'll tap it with my pinky, bro. I'll be playing like psychological games with them. But nah, that was a good video though, bro. That was a good video.